Good evening. My name is Mayor Scott Vogel. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's West Milton Council meeting. Tonight is November the 14th, 2017, 7:30. If everybody could please stand, join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, and remain standing for the invocation by Jason Tinnerman, Council Member. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings that you bestow upon our community and as individuals. Please help us remember that we don't have to look too far and open our eyes to see just how fortunate and lucky we are. We ask that you help us this evening as leaders of the community and be with us and with those in attendance so that we can make wise decisions for the future of our community. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Councilman Tinnerman. All right, this time I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Vogel?
Here.
Ernst?
Here.
Kopp? Here. Miller?
Here.
Grudich? Here. Dorman?
Here.
And Tinnerman.
Here. Thank you. Next on the agenda is a motion to excuse absent council members. I believe on October the 10th, Mr. Scott Hurst was absent at that meeting, so I'd like to entertain a motion to excuse Scott Hurst from the October 10th council meeting.
Make a motion that we excuse Councilman Hurst from said meeting. Second.
Roll call, please.
Ernst?
Abstain.
Kopp?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Grudich?
Yes.
Dorman?
Yes.
Tinnerman?
Yes.
And Mayor Vogel?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is the approval of minutes. We have a council meeting minutes from October the 10th, and we have a special council meeting workshop from October 24th, 2017. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the council minutes from those two dates.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve both sets of minutes from as they're written.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Ernst?
Yes.
Kopp?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Grudich?
Yes.
Dorman?
Yes.
Tinnerman?
Yes.
And Mayor Vogel?
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is correspondence to council. Manager Klein, do we have any correspondence to council?
None this evening, Mayor.
Okay. All right, next on the agenda is a mayoral proclamation. This is for Giving Tuesday. I'll read the proclamation and then we'll have a presentation after that. The mayoral proclamation reads as such. Whereas Giving Tuesday was established as a national day of giving on the Tuesday following Thanksgiving, and whereas Giving Tuesday is a celebration of philanthropy and volunteerism where people give whatever they are able to give, and whereas Giving Tuesday is a day where citizens work together to share commitments, rally for favorite causes, build a stronger community, and think about other people, and whereas it is fitting and proper on Giving Tuesday and on every day to recognize the tremendous impact of philanthropy, volunteerism, and community service in the municipality of West Milton. And whereas Giving Tuesday is an opportunity to encourage citizens to serve others throughout this holiday season and during other times of the year. Now, therefore, I, Scott Vogel, Mayor of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the charter and laws of the Village of West Milton, State of Ohio, do hereby proclaim this day, November 28th, to be Giving Tuesday. Witness hereof, I hereunto set my hand this 14th day in November in the year of our Lord 2017 in the Village of West Milton, Ohio. So at this time, I would like to invite Mr. Bill Lutz. He's the New Path Executive Director, and he is also the newly elected City Council member in the City of Troy.
making this possible as well. The organization that we represent is New Path, and we're affiliated with Ginghamsburg Church in Tip City. And it's really important for us to have this recognition from West Milton because of the gleaning place at 31 North Miami Street. That is one of our stores in which we help raise funds to help folks throughout Miami County. And Evelyn Alder, who runs that store, does just an amazing job. I love coming there because I know that when I go there, I'll at least have a half a dozen cookies that I can eat from residents of your community that just bring them, because that's the kind of spirit that we have there at the gleaning place. And Evelyn herself is very amazing. She puts in at least 40 hours a week. She's a retired individual, I'll just leave it at that. And she doesn't take one thin dime from our organization. For her, this is a passion that she has to help serve folks in West Milton. And so again, thank you very much for this recognition. We appreciate it. And thank you just to the entire West Milton community for helping us do the work that we do. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. Alice?
I want you all to know this is my beautiful granddaughter.
Oh, well, I
This
didn't
is
know.
Bob's daughter.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a bit proud of her. As you
Just a little bit, yeah. Thank you very much, and thanks for your commitment to the community. We really appreciate it. All right, tonight on the agenda, we have 5 pieces of legislation. I'd like to open up the floor at this time for any comments from citizens regarding tonight's legislation. Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the ordinances and resolutions. Be prepared, because we have a lot of information here to provide with our budget and reappropriations, so it's going to take a little bit of time. So, Ms. Brosh, I'll turn things over to you for CM 17-32, ordinance amending 2017 budget. This is the first reading.
All right, it's an ordinance to amend the 2017 appropriations. Whereas council by ordinance CM-16-43 adopted 2017 final appropriations for the various funds utilized by the municipality. And whereas it is necessary to adjust the appropriations to reflect unanticipated expenditures. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the following amendments to the 2017 appropriations of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio are hereby made. For the general fund, personal services for transportation, the current appropriation is $58,150. It's amended by $2,500. The new amount is $60,650. Total personal services is currently $1,249,525. It's amended by $2,500. The amended appropriation is $1,252,025. Total other expenditures is currently $939,641. It's amended by $211,500. The amended appropriation is $1,151,141. For the total general fund, the current appropriation is $2,214,166. It's amended by $214,000, and the amended appropriation is $2,428,166. For special revenue funds, the street construction and maintenance, total other expenditures is $70,950. It's amended by $14,000. The amended appropriation is $84,950. Total street construction and maintenance is $200,600, amended by $14,000. The amended appropriation is $214,600. For total special revenue funds, the current appropriation is $390,800. It's amended by $14,000, and the amended appropriation is $404,800. For the enterprise funds, the water capital improvement total other expenditures is $41,700. It's amended by $317,000, and the amended appropriation is $358,700. The total water capital improvement is $109,807. It's amended by $317,000. The amended appropriation is $426,807. For the sewer capital improvement, total other expenditures is $231,754. It's amended by $25,000. The amended appropriation is $256,754. For the total sewer capital improvement, it's currently $238,275. It's amended by $25,000, and the amended appropriation is $263,275. For the refuse fund, it's $475,000. It's amended by $5,000, so the amended appropriation is $480,000. The water fund, total other expenditures, is currently $589,260. It's amended by $24,300. The amended appropriation of $613,560. For the total water fund, it's $914,510 with an amended, it's amended by $24,300, and the amended appropriation is $938,810. For the sewer fund, total other expenditures is currently $247,675. It's amended by $13,400 with an amended appropriation of $261,075. The total sewer fund is $547,975. It's amended by $13,400, and the amended appropriation is $561,375. The total enterprise funds is $2,353,674. It's amended by $384,700, and the amended appropriation is $2,738,374. For total appropriations of all funds, it's currently $5,029,074.22. It's amended by $612,700, and the amended appropriation is $5,641,774.22. Section 2, any previously drawn warrants on these funds in excess of the original appropriation are hereby authorized. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after the earliest date permitted by law.
Thank you, Ms. Brosh. And again, that's the first reading of CM 17-32. Manager Klein, any comments?
It's, on its face, it's rather large. There are some large items that are, a year ago at this time weren't anticipated. One was the most of it being the refurbishing of the North Water Tower, which is $300,000. The other one that we didn't know was the ability of being able to acquire the land next to the park. That's an in and out, so much of that is going to be grant. About 75,000 of the 122 is going to be grant. It was a 75-25 grant, so we'll be getting 75% of that back. We had not anticipated Forest Avenue being slightly over budget this year, but I think once it's completed, everyone will understand that it was a good project to do. There were some legal fees that we had not anticipated, but all of that is coming back to us on the first close of the Stillwater development. And the last major one was, but we feel is very important to us for our future, is the $19,000 for the water model study, which should be completed here as soon as the water towers is completed. If you look at all that, of the $612,000, $419,000 of it, most of that has either been borrowed money and/or is grant money. That's an in and out. So when you look at it all, it's less than $200,000 of amendments, about $193,000 this year in amendments.
Very good. Thank you for the explanation.
You're welcome.
Any comments from anyone on council? Okay. We'll move on to CM 17-33. This is the ordinance for the 2018 budget, and this is the first reading. Ms. Brosh.
An ordinance to appropriate funds necessary for the various departments and offices of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio for the year 2018. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, to provide for the current expenses and other expenditures of the municipality of West Milton during the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2018, and ending December 31st, 2018, the following sums be and are hereby set aside and appropriated as follows. For the general fund, personal services for general government, $258,375, transportation, $61,650, security of persons and property, $1,008,150. For total personal services, $1,328,175. Transfers to fire truck capital improvement of $50,000. Total other expenditures, $643,750. For the total general fund, $2,021,925. Special revenue funds, cemetery, $500. Street levy, $192,025. Street construction and maintenance, total personal services of $124,750. Total other expenditures, $48,250. For total street construction and maintenance of $173,000. State highway, $14,500. Enforcement and education, $500. Drug law enforcement, $500. For total special revenue funds of $381,025. Debt service funds, OPWC of $6,520.58 for total debt service funds of $6,520.58. Capital improvement funds, sidewalk, curb, and gutter of $2,500 for total capital improvement funds of $2,500. Enterprise funds, water capital improvement, total other expenditures of $913,765. Transfers to utility meter replacement debt of $68,107 for total water capital improvement of $981,872. Sewer capital improvement, total other expenditures of $343,975. Transfers to OPWC debt service of $6,521 for total sewer capital improvement of $350,496. Utility meter replacement debt service of $68,107. Refuse fund of $492,000. Water fund, total personal services of $336,150. Total other expenditures of $585,260 for a total water fund of $921,410. Sewer fund, total personal services of $310,100. Total other expenditures of $257,675 for a total sewer fund of $567,775. For a total enterprise funds of $3,381,660. The total appropriations of all funds is $5,793,630.58. And the summary is total personal services of $2,099,175, total other expenditures of $3,569,827.58, total transfers of $124,628, for a grand total of $5,793,630.58. Section 2, the Director of Finance is hereby authorized to draw warrants on the village treasury for payments from any of the foregoing appropriations upon receiving proper certificates and vouchers therefore approved by the board or officers authorized by law to approve the same, or an ordinance or resolution of council to make the expenditure, provided no warrant shall be drawn or paid for salaries or wages except to persons employed by authority of and in accordance with law or ordinance. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect from and after the earliest date permitted by law.
Thank you, Ms. Brosh. Again, that's the first reading of CM 17-33. Manager Klein, any comments?
Just a few. I think there's some major expenditures here that we should point out. One being that we're anticipating a south tower refurbishing for next year, which is $310,000. There's also engineering that's going to be needed for the beginning of taking Ludlow Falls sewer. I'll explain this. Ludlow Falls does not have any sewer system. A study was done, paid for through Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission. That study showed that the best way to be able to sewer Ludlow Falls is to connect to our system. We have been working with them through a state agency to acquire grants. You may recall a few meetings ago, we had announced that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers had provided a grant of just over $1 million. That $1 million, along with other funding, once it's been engineered, can make this project affordable. I did get confirmation from Robin Smith, their clerk, that Ludlow Falls did pass a resolution authorizing the sanitary sewer to move forward. So as we anticipated that they would, we put in $250,000 for engineering. All the money will be funneled through us, but it's in and out. I hope most everyone understands that. The grant is actually coming to us. So that $250,000 will be reimbursed back to us by that $1 million grant from the Army Corps of Engineers. But this is, and Ludlow Falls isn't getting sewer tomorrow. They're probably not going to be getting sewer until 2020, is my guess. But there's at least a year's worth of engineering that needs to get this started. So that's a $250,000 expenditure that you would never have seen otherwise on our books. Another one that also will be reimbursed back to us, but is being anticipated, is a water booster pump station to serve Stillwater Crossings development. We were able to secure a 0% financing, which is a lot better than borrowing money at 2, 3, 4, or 5%, that would be putting in booster pump stations to boost the water pressure up on top of the hill. Again, that will be 100% paid for by the Stillwater Development Crossings, but to be able to get the grant, that runs through our books. So that's a $500,000 expenditure you would otherwise never see on our books. And finally, another expenditure is we have borrowed $300,000, and we're anticipating borrowing again for the South Tower, so you have to run those through those books. So if you add up all of those that I just mentioned, that comes out to almost $1.2 million. So if you take that $1.2 million, which would be abnormal expenditures that we've never had in the past, that reduces what our total budget would look like at $4.664 million. Okay? And to give you a relationship as to what that means, our actual budget in 2016 was 4.572. So it's about, our budget that we're proposing this year is about $91,000 more, minus those big expenses, than what we actually spent in 2016. So it's about a 2% increase. So our staff, we're very proud of it. I hope that the city council is, and if anybody wants to speak about the meetings, I thought they were very productive. We're doing some good things. We are anticipating, and you might recall at the last meeting, we are planning ahead possibly for some sort of new fire apparatus, a truck of some sort. So we're putting more money back for that. So that's money that we're putting back into what we call the savings account, but you show it as an expense for the following year. It's a little bit more than what we normally would do. Taking all that into consideration, it's a pretty tight budget. But the bigger items are for our future success.
Thank you very much. Any comments from anyone on council?
I think Matt said it well. With a 2% increase, that's shows a lot of hard work and dedication from all the city employees and willingness to make some good choices, and I think that that's continued to show itself through everything that they've done. So I think it's represents well here, so.
Very good. Any other comments? Okay, thank you very much. We will move on to the next ordinance. CM 17-34, an ordinance amending and creating the Water Capital Debt Fund. Ms. Brock.
It's an ordinance amending ordinance 13-26 by adjusting the amount to the fees associated with water department debt and renaming the fund to the Water Capital Debt Service Fund. Whereas the municipality of West Milton, Ohio has, through prior action, by its council, created a utility meter replacement debt service fund and established a fee schedule for the retirement of certain water debt. And whereas the Council for the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio has further determined that other improvements to the water distribution system are necessary, specifically the painting and refurbishment of the water towers. And whereas the municipality of West Milton, Ohio is required to address, as part of this major project, the issues of cost and how to deliver the best service to its customers based upon a properly administrated budget and a fair assessment of the fees. And whereas the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, through its council, has elected to establish specific fees to service current and future capital projects and any debt created as a result of those projects in the water department for work necessary to preserve the health and welfare of the water distribution system. And whereas to properly administer these fees, the council further created a specific enterprise debt service fund in previous legislation. Now therefore be it ordained by the council for the municipality of West Milton, Ohio as follows. Section 1, to service current and future capital projects and any debt associated with said projects, council hereby establishes the following fee schedule. For meter size 5/8 inch, previous fee per account per month is $285. The new fee per account per month is $585. For 1 to 2 inch, the previous fee per account per month was $590. The new fee per account per month is $890. For 3 inch plus, the previous fee per account per month was $19.60. The new fee per account per month is $22.60. Section 2, council hereby further renames the established utility meter replacement debt service fund to the Water Capital Debt Service Fund. This fund, into which the necessary fees shall be transferred, shall service all debt associated with the water department. Section 3, the Water Debt Service Fund shall be created prior to January 1st, 2018, and the fees established herein shall be assessed beginning January 2018. Section 4, the fees established herein shall be fixed fees and shall not be altered except by further ordinance initiated by council. Section 5, this ordinance shall be effective on and after the earliest date permitted by law.
Thank you, Ms. Ross. Manager Klein, over to you.
One announcement we'd like to make is that there are no rate increases for 2018. Rate being, there's no rate increases. However, there is a debt that we are taking on to strengthen the distribution system. We've talked about the North Water Tower was in very poor shape. The South Tower is also in poor shape. It's going to cost about $600,000, and we run a very, very tight water budget. So we put no or hardly any money into capital. We just make enough to pay our daily expenses, our yearly expenses. Having said that, we do have some small debt. For most people in residential, it's a $2.85 per month charge. The easiest way financially to do this is to take that debt and change it into just a water debt, okay? So what essentially what you've seen or heard is we're asking or increasing that monthly debt to an additional $3. So it'd be $5.85. And that would take care of both towers and continue to take care of the meter debt. Now, we're very confident this will bring in enough money to make our first payment. Once that we've known that, we'll be coming back at this time next year with recommendations, we hope, to lower. Also, in addition, when you bring on more customers pay this, that also will be coming back to you that we can lower this debt. So that's the anticipation. We need this first year to establish it. Hopefully Stillwater Development grows as anticipated. And then you'll see this coming back from time to time to reduce these numbers when our debt gets reduced.
Very good. Thank you for the explanation. Any comments from council?
Yeah, real quick.
Yes, sir.
So when the water meter debt gets paid off, will it take action from council to remove that portion?
Yes.
And is that the plan as of now to remove that when those are paid for?
That's what Jill and I are anticipating.
Okay.
Now, we're not anticipating any major expenditures in the next several years, and that debt should be paid off here. We've been going on now for about 4 or 5 years, and I thought it was a 10-year loan, so we're halfway home on that.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. And again, that's a first reading of CM 17-34. Next ordinance is CM 17-35, ordinance amending Chapter 76.04, parking front yard, and this is a first reading. Ms. Brosh.
An ordinance amending Section 76.04, parking prohibitions of the West Milton Code of Ordinances. Whereas the West Milton Council, in a continuous effort to maintain and increase the community standards of the overall appearance of the municipality, has identified parking in the front yards of residentially zoned properties to be an eyesore and a contributing factor to the overall quality of the community. And whereas the West Milton Council has received numerous complaints from residents within the municipality about the issue of front yard parking. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, Council hereby amends Section 76.04B of the West Milton Code of Ordinances to read as follows. As it currently reads, everything is stricken from 76.04B, and it will now read, parking of motor vehicles on lawns prohibited. A, no automobile, motorcycle, or other motor vehicle or trailer shall be parked or remain on any non-parking or non-driveway portion of the yard of any residential or multi-family zoned lot. All motorized vehicles and/or trailers shall be parked, kept only on an improved hard surface such as concrete or asphalt. Such surfaces shall encompass the entire vehicle or trailer. All vehicles or trailers parked in parking area or driveways shall bear the current registration or license plates as required by the Ohio Revised Code. Section B, this section shall not apply during times of emergency due to acts of nature or during the time that a resident is in the process of moving in and out of the premises. Section 2, council hereby adds Section 76.04C to the West Milton Code of Ordinances to read as follows. 76.04C, except as otherwise provided in this division, whoever violates this section is guilty of a minor misdemeanor. If within 1 year of the offense, the offender previously has been convicted of or pleaded guilty to one predicate motor vehicle or traffic offense, whoever violates this section is guilty of a misdemeanor of the 4th degree. If within 1 year of the offense, the offender previously has been convicted of 2 or more predicate motor vehicle or traffic offenses, whoever violates this section is guilty of a misdemeanor of the 3rd degree. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect 10 days after the second reading and approval by council.
Thank you, Ms. Brosh. Manager Klein, any comments?
We did promise that there would be a public hearing, so if you want to open that up, but at this time, if it's okay, especially for our television audience, what I've asked Tom to do is we'll just go over, everyone listens to it, but it's always nice to see the words. So if it's okay, Tom, the first section, and it's that first part of what she read, and I just broke it down into sentences. No motor vehicle shall be parked or remain on any non-driveway portion of the yard of any residential zoned lot. All motorized vehicles shall be parked or kept only on an improved hard surface such as concrete or asphalt. Such surfaces shall encompass the entire vehicle. All vehicles parked in a driveway shall bear the current registration or license plates as required by the Ohio Revised Code. And this section shall not apply during times of emergency due to acts of nature or during the time that a resident is in the process of moving in or out of the premises. I always felt some people can hear it, some people would like to read it, so that's why I asked Tom to put that up for this evening. If you'd like to open it for the public hearing, be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. This time, we'll open up the public hearing for this ordinance, amending Chapter 76.04, parking in the front yard. And first, I'd like to open it up to anyone on council if they have any questions or comments in reference to this first reading. The floor is yours.
So the first question we're gonna get from the public is probably, so that means I can just pave my whole front yard as a parking lot?
Well, I also included at your spots this evening, we do have building standards or construction standards. Every residential lot does need to have a driveway. It does need to be a hard surface. It's a minimum of 10 feet wide and a maximum of 24 feet wide. It does need to have a 3-foot buffer, which was asked as well, between properties. There are some sections, we've run into 1 or 2 properties on the south side where the driveway was built in such an angle that's very close to the property line, but there still needs to be a 3-foot buffer there. So I included those. So, no, you can't, unless you had a front yard which was only 24 feet wide, then I guess theoretically you could, but I can't imagine that there is a house that would fit that, but
Very good. Thank you for that question. Any other comments or questions from anyone on council?
I just wanted to point out that the last section that I read isn't really a new section. It was just moved, the penalty section.
Okay,
It was prior, it was 6704B, and we moved it to C in order to fit this section in there. So the penalties haven't changed. It's the same penalties for that entire section.
very good. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, at this time, we'll open up the floor to anyone in the audience. If anyone has any comments, questions, concerns with this amended ordinance, please step up to the podium, state your name and where you live, and we'll address your comments or concerns. Okay, no one has any comments or questions. We will have another public hearing at the workshop, just in case folks did not get a chance to come tonight. We will open up the floor to answer any questions, comments, concerns at that time. But then when we read this at the second council meeting, we'll take it from there.
and I do know that Becky sends PDFs of all of our legislation to Michael Overbay to put onto our website. I'll verify with Michael that he has done so. If he hasn't, I'll make sure that he does.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Quick question, what are we doing to proactively let some of the people currently participating in said yard parking, are we letting them know of the pending legislation, or?
We could, no, we have not, but we could. Sure.
Okay.
I agree. I think it would be a good idea, because we did do that when we had the issue with the recreational vehicles and so forth, when we revised that ordinance and we changed that. So I think we should afford those folks an opportunity, at least let them know that, you know, this is being discussed, and
Well, a little
they're more
time
than
to
welcome.
create how they're gonna change, you know, their parking situation and
Right.
adapt.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Do you need a motion to close? Do we have to close
Oh,
that?
yeah,
I'll make a
you
motion
need to
to
actually
close the.
declare the public hearing closed.
Okay,
No.
at this time, I will declare the public hearing closed, and we will move on to our last ordinance and resolution, which is CM 17-36, a resolution for sewer media filter. Ms. Brosh.
It's a resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of new media for the trickling filter at the wastewater treatment facility. Whereas the municipality's 2017 sewer capital improvement budget includes $116,000 for various improvements to the wastewater treatment plant. And whereas ordinance code 33.18 requires formal bidding when an item is more than $25,000 and informal bidding for when it is $25,000 or less. And whereas the municipal manager's office, through the cooperation of the consulting engineers Hazen and Sawyer, adhered to code 33.18 and conducted formal bidding procedures for the media, and the manager's office conducted informal bidding for the installation of said media. And whereas it is further the opinion of the manager that this action is in the best interest of the municipality and is compliant with the administrative code. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the municipal manager is hereby authorized and directed to contract with Rushing USA Incorporated of Arlington, Texas, for the purchase of 312 pieces of trickling filter media along with walking grates in the amount of $26,540. Section 2, the municipal manager is also hereby authorized and directed to contract with Dahl Lehman of Tip City, Ohio, in the amount of $16,098 for the removal of the old media and installation of the new media. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and effect after its passage.
Thank you, Ms. Brosh. Manager Klein, any comments?
First, I'd like to thank Ben Herron for all the work that he's put in over the last several months to get us to this point. He's been working hard with getting the construction of such, and also with Hazen and Sawyer at getting a good price for what's called trickling filter media. It doesn't have anything to do with social media, but it's relatively the same thing. No. So if you can imagine, there are a couple of tanks, round tanks, sort of like my coffee cup. And in those tanks, above those tanks, there are these arms that wastewater sprays down into these tanks. And they actually spray down into what's called a trickling filter, okay? And these filter are actually 312 pieces, puzzle pieces. They've got gaps and curves, and this wastewater literally trickles down to the bottom of the tank. And these filters clean, or are part of the cleaning process. Typically, our guys do everything, but this takes some specialty. If you can imagine putting square pegs in round holes, literally. And there's a method of taking them out, and there's a method of installing them new. And it's literally a jigsaw puzzle. Is that fair to say? Yeah. It's literally a jigsaw puzzle. So, and if you don't have the box top, then you don't know what you're doing. So, Dahl Lehman is a local company. They do an excellent job. This is what they do, and so it's been very important. It is a capital project. We did put both of them in to one resolution. It's all coming from wastewater capital, so it's needed. Hasn't been done since the 1991. So we got our money's worth out of those puzzle pieces, and we're buying new puzzle pieces.
Very good. Thank you. Any comments or questions from council? Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion for resolution CM 17-36, sewer media filter.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to accept CM-1736 as read.
Roll call, please.
Hurst.
Yes.
Cobb. Yes. Miller.
Yes.
Grody.
Yes.
Dorman.
Yes.
Tinnerman.
Yes.
and Mayor Copeland.
Yes, ma'am. All right, that concludes the ordinances and resolutions. We will move on to the municipal manager. Manager Klein, I'll turn it over to you again.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council, and guests. Good evening. Just a few items. If you get a chance, you'll see that Forest Avenue curb and some sidewalk now has been poured. Storm drains are almost completed. By our next meeting, we will share, or Tom will share some photos for everyone with the completed project, except for the paving, which will be done in the spring, summer. But we do anticipate, weather permitting, that coat construction should be completed by Thanksgiving, if not December 1st. All depends on the weather. Weather doesn't look like it's going to be too friendly here in the next few days, so we'll see. The water tower has been painted. It's been refurbed. The last thing we're waiting on is our logo. Again, this is weather dependent. The last few days has been a little bit chilly. We're waiting to see if that might turn. If not, they'll actually literally try to heat the tower itself. They have the ability to be able to do that, believe it or not. And they'll probably blanket and heat the tower to get it to its requisite 50 degrees and put on the basically red and black that you'll be able to see. Again, we're anticipating that to be done prior to the next meeting. We'll have some photos. We have some before and also after photos. We were hoping to show them to you tonight, but logo's not done yet. I hope you'll be very pleased, especially with the inside of the tower. Ben and I have seen the inside of the tower, and it looks brand new. I mean, it shines. So we'll get another good more than 10 years out of this tower as well. Leaves. We're in the midst of collecting leaves. I say this every year. I know it falls mainly on deaf ears, but please try to refrain to keep the leaves at the curb and not into the street. We've had, I don't need to tell anybody, it just seems to be the norm now that we have strong storms. This last storm was 2 inches in an hour, and then a couple hours later, another 1.75 inches or 1.5 inches in another hour. We get complaints of flooding. When you put the leaves out in the street, all you're doing is damming the water. And the leaves have nowhere to go except down that drain, and it just, when you get 2 inches of rain in an hour, there's not a storm sewer in anybody's town that's gonna be able to handle that type of water. So please try to keep the leaves on the edge of your property, not onto the pavement. We're just pleading with you to do that, please. Finally, it's just on a sad note, but we also think from a safety standpoint, this would be better. I've been in communication with Greg Rogers, who's usually the one who heads up some of the stuff in our downtown businesses. The Downtown Business Open House will be this week. Typically, we'd have or try to have a tree lighting ceremony. All of the weather that we look at is calling for potentially gusts of up to 40 to 60 mile an hour winds on Friday evening. We just don't want to put a tree up and watch the thing blow down before it gets lit. But it's also going to feel like about 35 degrees and rain. In communication and acceptance and agreement with Downtown Business Association, we are going to cancel, or I'm sorry, we're going to postpone the tree lighting right now. If we can get together with them within the next week or two, then we'll make an announcement and we'll schedule something, and I'll keep you posted on that. But for this Friday, no tree lighting. But Ben's men will be putting up some of the Christmas decorations. We probably just won't put the tree up. No sense in putting it up and then picking it back up on Saturday. So we'll wait till the weather passes. That's all I have this evening.
Very good, thank you. All right, next on the agenda is old business. Anyone from council have any old business? Okay. Any new business? Anyone have any new business to report?
I have some new business. I would like to promote something for our MIRA, which is our Milton Union Rec Association, and they deal with soccer, baseball, basketball. But this particular thing is about our baseball, and I received an email from Zach Keys. He's the baseball commissioner, and I don't know if anyone else had received this, but it's in regards to a pavilion that they're going to be trying to build, and so I just kind of want to read through the email that I got, just to let the public know. In the first paragraph, he introduces himself. I'm going to skip down here to the second part. In February of this year, Christy Brown, a longtime MIRA volunteer and supporter, passed away suddenly at the age of 47. Christy and her husband, Alan, had both served on the MIRA board. Christy as secretary and Alan as baseball commissioner. The Brown family requested that in lieu of sending flowers, anyone wishing to do so could send a memorial contribution to the Milton Union Rec Association in Christy's name. MIRA would like to construct a large covered pavilion to be centered between the 4 baseball fields at Lowry Fields and dedicated to Christy's life and service to the Milton Union Rec Association. In addition to the $767 memorial contributions received from Christy's friends and family, we have obtained a community chest grant of $350 towards this end. But we are still in need of some help to make this project everything that we hope it can be. We are asking for donations of any kind to help us purchase materials for the construction of this pavilion. In recognition of your donation, your business name will be placed on a plaque or sign as a project donor. We will also include a standard outfield fence sponsor sign if you would like one, at a minimum of $150 donation. This project is still in the planning phase, and the size and design of this pavilion will be determined by the donations that we receive. So they're asking for financial donations along with materials and labor donations. So we greatly appreciate your donations and your support. Our program depends on our local businesses, and we encourage all of the families to support those whom support the MIRA programs and our community. They were asking for a form, which I have right here, and I thought maybe I could give this to you guys in case someone would come.
We'll make copies this evening,
Yeah, it just
too.
has everything laid out and who to send the money to and whatnot, but I just wanted to promote that for them.
Pretty good, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing that. I do have one thing going back to the old business. Usually you give a quick snippet update of the Stillwater Crossings development. Anything to provide as far as any updates or anything like that for the public?
Oh, not really. I know he's just finalizing contract negotiations with Randall. I know that he said that he has submitted a contract and waiting for it to be signed for a gas station / car wash in a potentially restaurant up on the corner. And I know that he has been in communication with some various potential businesses for the plaza. But other than that, no, there's nothing really to update. One of the things this is probably a good opportunity, one of the things, because council's approved and given its blessing on the actual development itself, doesn't mean that someone turns dirt over tomorrow. If you've ever built a house, you know that when you and your wife or spouse or whatever are ready to go, you probably have another 45 days waiting until, or 50 days or 60 days or whatever, before you can actually start turning over dirt because there's so much other work to do. This is something that you have to take into consideration, that this is more than $10 or $15 million worth of public improvements. His first borrowing is probably going to be at least $7 million, so you just don't borrow $7 million overnight. There's contracts that need to be negotiated, signed, put into place, and then once they get to that, then there's a negotiation with literally the market itself to get the best rate for him. Now, that's nothing that we have to do, but that's a lot of work on his end. So it is going. It's been very, very positive, but I've heard some rumblings, because you always hear through the grapevine, well, I told you nothing's going to happen because they haven't turned over dirt. Now, there's a lot of work that's going on right now. My guess, or I would anticipate, and the bond counsel is anticipating, as are the attorneys, that he probably won't do the first borrowing of money until the first quarter of next year. January, February would be the earliest, just because of the amount of work that needs to be done. And as a side note, and it's the truth, nothing much gets done in the financial and legal markets between Thanksgiving and New Year's. It just simply doesn't. It's frustrating on the ends of others, but other things just don't happen and don't occur. So there's been a lot of positive work, but there's he doesn't really want to break ground as a ceremony until he's borrowed the money and he's ready to break ground. So it's all good, it's happening. It just, these things, you don't borrow $7 million overnight. There's a lot of work that needs to happen in the back end first.
Very good, thank you. One bit of new business, I would like to officially congratulate Anthony Miller. He was elected as the new incoming mayor, which he'll be sworn in the beginning of January. I think it's January 2nd. And Scott Hurst will be our new vice mayor. Congratulations. And in the audience, we have Jason Land, who is also newly elected council member, and will also be sworn in and start on January the 2nd. And if I'm not mistaken, in some of the correspondence we've received from you, since Jason Tinnerman will be coming off of council and getting into bigger and better things in his life, we are going to have some type of a little send-off for him. What is that at the televised meeting in December? Is that right?
No, that'll actually be January.
Oh, January 2nd.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's a quirk in our charter. Our regular council meetings are always the second Tuesday of the month, except after you have newly elected members. In this case, we have 3 newly elected members, a mayor, vice mayor, and a council member. That meeting in our charter requires it to be the first Tuesday of January. So on January 2nd, we will be holding our regular council meeting. Prior to that, it will be an organizational meeting in which Vice Mayor Miller will be sworn in as mayor, Councilmember Hurst will be sworn in as vice mayor, and Council-elect Land will be sworn in as a council member. We typically always have a small reception. After we will also hold a council meeting on that evening, and then we typically have a small reception, in which time we'll be congratulating the newly elected, but also thanking Councilman Tinnerman for his years of service as well.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, any other new business? Okay. Any comments by citizens? No comments by citizens? All right.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn into an executive session to conference with our law director and manager on a potential dispute.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Hurst.
Yes.
Cobb.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Rudy. Yes. Dorman.
Yes.
Tinnerman.
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Yes. And I'd like to announce to the public that after we conclude the executive session, we will have no more business that we'll be involved with at the, or come back in the council meeting for that. So at this time, I'll make a motion to adjourn.